Hello, it's Aviator Joe here, and in today's video we'll revisit one of the more challenging flights in my Quicksilver MX. If you're new here, I do have some older videos in the description that show the kind of flying I did for 8 years before I came back to light sport. In early 2021, I moved up north to my current location near Mansfield, Ohio. My NX was hangared at Chapman Memorial Field, 6 Charlie Mike, just outside of Centerburg. My new home was literally 6 minutes from Galion Municipal, Gulf, Quebec, and I was able to secure a spot in a large shared hangar. All I had to do was get the plane there. At 28 miles, this flight would be twice as long as the longest cross-country I have previously flown in the MX. Since this was at the edge of the MX 5-gallon capability, I would only attempt it when there was no headwind. Luckily, it was only a one-way flight. I hacked out a flight plan in SkyVector that included a few equally spaced waypoints. Since I would need to make sure that my actual progress matched my plan, I created and used a navigation log. Each waypoint would be about 5 to 8 miles apart. 99% of my ultralight navigation consisted of fly to the 3 trees by the pond, make a right until you see the flock of sheep. So this was a big deal. I had a small phone on board with an app called PPGPS running, so I could accurately track my mileage and ground speed. I lifted off at 6:15 to very calm air with a fair amount of mist. The mist was supposed to clear as the morning progressed, and there was a very light crosswind at my cruising altitude of 300 feet above ground. The first waypoint was the town of Sparta. It's very easy to spot its twin towers and high school campus. I've flown here many times. Next up was the interchange of routes 71 and 95. I was following a local road until I could see the cell towers installed at the interchange about 30 degrees to my left. It was a bit of a challenge filling out the form in flight, but the MX steers well with just the rudders, so I was able to manage. I've driven in this area many times and have flown over it a few times as well. For some reason, I have always found it a little surreal when driving over an area that I have also flown over. Two perspectives, I guess. The village of Williamsport was next on the list, and this one was going to be a little tougher to find. I've never flown this far north before, and I had to rely on this somewhat unusual combination of intersecting roads to distinguish this from the other small villages along the way. It's one thing to see it on a map, and another to find it from only 300 feet up. All the time spent on Google Earth paid off, and I was ticking off another waypoint. most obscure landmark was coming up in just 5 miles. Since it was summer, I figured it would be pretty easy to find power transmission lines since they cut a large path through any patch of woods they cross. This is what I was looking for. Once again, it's easier on Google Earth than in a flying lawn chair. You can see the transmission tower just sticking out of the trees on the video, but I completely missed it during the flight. Luckily, I remembered that there was a small microwave tower just past the power lines, so when I saw that, I realized I was on the final leg. A slight headwind was picking up by now, but as I had plenty of fuel, it was going to be no factor except for the slight ripples in the air. I was looking for the hangars at Galion as my cue that I would need to start planning my entry into the pattern. The sun was starting to break through the mist as the hangar roofs poked through the tree line. I noticed that the wind seemed to be slowing down as I got lower, so I decided to land on runway 23 and set up for downwind for that. I knew I had a left turnoff coming, so I held off landing and drifted to the left a bit. Obviously, I was happy with the flight. Apparently still happy with the flight. As I pulled up to the hangar, I realized that I had another issue to handle. I still had not received my key to the hangar from the town of Galion. I was told about a super secret backdoor entrance that would allow me to get inside to open the main hangar door.
We made it. Now let's see if I can get the hangar door open.
I wasn't sure that it would work, hence my annoyance, despite a great outcome.
A little bouncy at the end. And we did get some headwinds. Not much, thankfully, just a little. And then we got a little bit of a boost on the way back. But we made it.
Thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when a new video is published. Happy landings!